Well, hi, friends. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are here with my good friend Harlan Cohen. He is gonna be like the main star today. I'm just gonna be kind of like, I don't know, being cute in the background or something, but hopefully not too visible. Sort of setting him up. But he'll introduce himself in just a moment. Our check-in question for today, if you're interested, you can throw it into the chat. What YouTube rabbit holes do you fall down? So far, we have dorm decorating, all things car or AI, and the Northern Disclosure podcast. I don't even know about that. Is that like Northern Exposure, like the 90s show? I don't know. For me, it's all about like board games, like just getting to know different and new board games. Um, so Harlan, welcome. Hi, I'm glad you're here.
I'm so happy to be here. I just typed the Conan O'Brien's podcast. I really like, he's got great guests, and it's usually a podcast that I'll like fall into. I,
Totally. Yeah, I love his too. I think he's good. And I love him in that format. He's like a little more chill, but he's also
yeah,
still incredibly funny.
I think
Um,
so. I think so. Well, I'm so happy to be here. I always enjoy seeing you. It's one of the highlights of NACAC, uh, when we're in the booth together, and I don't see you enough, and I'm so excited that we get to do this together.
I'm so excited too. I'm like, yeah, just really grateful. I'm so grateful for the work that you put out in the world. If y'all don't know, Harlan puts out some amazing content on social media, posts pretty regularly, and has been doing this for years, like like 20 years plus. Like both of us, I think we've been doing it for like 20 years plus.
It's been a
So
while.
you might know him as the author of The Naked Roommate, but I'm going to let you sort of say more about because that's sort of like the thing that a lot of people know about you. I'd love for you to share a little bit more about yourself and then take it away. It's all yours.
Yeah, well, I am author of The Naked Roommate and 107 other issues you might run into in college. And lately, I've
Oh, you
just
know
been,
what? Sorry. I totally messed up. Oh, no, I didn't. We didn't. Sorry. I thought we messed up recording. We didn't.
yeah,
Sorry. I've never done that. We're good.
you
Please,
know,
onward.
I've actually done that. I have finished conversations and saw that I did not record it because one of the things, Ethan, and this is something, and I'll get more into this. One of the reasons that I've found so much success over the past, I'd say even 5 or 6 years, it's that like the social media exploded. It's because I've gotten so good at being imperfect, and
Uh,
I've stopped trying to be so exceptional. It's like a wild thing. And since I've started embracing how I'm never gonna know everything. I'm gonna get the answers wrong,
yeah.
and I'll probably say something the wrong way or whatever is gonna happen.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it. Like
Yeah.
it's more about I'm showing up from a place of love, truly, and being mission oriented, and I have something of value to share. And it's that mindset that really enables me to show up in ways that I haven't before because I'm really here of service. So
Amazing.
it's
Thanks for bringing your heart to this work so much.
yeah. So here's what I'd like to do, and thanks, Ethan, for handing this over to me.
Yeah.
So I have a How to Have Your Best First Year program put together for you. And the goal here is I want to, in this short amount of time, be able to really give everybody a framework so you can be set up for success. I know Ethan has done such a wonderful job and the whole college essay guy crew of helping you to have a mindset to be successful in college. And what I find is, as much as high schools try to support student success and parents want to do everything they can, what's happened is most students and parents are set up to struggle because very few people tell you how to navigate this year and how to create the dynamics to be successful. And you do a lot of that during the search process. But once you're there, like once you're actually there, that's where so many students struggle. So I want to give everybody a framework. I'm not going to be able to do everything because I can't do everything in this amount of time. I have more resources that I'm going to share with you, but today you're going to leave here with a very clear understanding of how to approach college so you can be successful. And in the same way, you can take a lot of what I'm sharing because I know we have families of sophomores, juniors, seniors in high school. You can use this and apply this to your college curiosity, to your exploration. So this is something for everyone. And I'm excited to get into this. I'm going to be keeping an eye on the chat. I'll be keeping an eye on the questions. And if any of you have anything you want to share, I'll jump in and Be happy to share that. And Ethan, if there's anything that hits you and you're like, man, Harlan, I need to let you know about this, or anybody on your team, please feel free to jump in. All
You
right.
got it. I'm here. Sweet.
All right. Cool. Thanks. So this all starts with wanting something. And what I find is we're so focused on being wanted, we don't focus on what we want. So this is one of the five different steps I'm going to be sharing with you. And what I wanted to do to start off is make sure you know all the five. So it's not like you're getting to the end and being like, Harlan, what's four or what's five? No, you're going to know right away. And the first thing is you have to want something, which seems easy, but it's a lot harder than people understand. The second thing is you have to get comfortable with the uncomfortable. This change is going to be hard. It's hard for everyone. And if it's not the first year, then it will be the second year. And if not the second year, the third or fourth, or when you graduate. But getting comfortable with the uncomfortable is key. And the students you see me standing with are students I've met. I have podcasts where I've interviewed these students, and they've shared with me how they're able to get comfortable with the uncomfortable. This particular student was from Singapore and made friends by saying hi and realized he didn't need to go to class because they didn't take attendance until he started to fail a class. Then he realized he needed to go and he quickly adjusted. Think people, places, and patience. This is step three, people, places, and patience. So it's what do you want? Get comfortable with the uncomfortable, people, places, and patience. And so many students and so many parents don't really understand how to find the right people and how to access the right places because you might not be able to do the things you want to do because you might have to be accepted or invited to participate. And I'm going to help you to find a solution to that. Tell your story as if it's already happened. So I want you to jump ahead to November 1st and think back what happened that first couple months. And for someone who's exploring colleges, it's really important to think about what is it going to be like to actually be on that campus. I was on a campus a couple days ago because my son's part of like a summer program, and I went into the residence halls because that's where he was staying, and I went to the bathroom and I turned on the showers. And, or one shower, just one shower. I was only in one shower. And I was like touching the water and just like experiencing it. I made a recording because it's really helpful to see this, to actually imagine it. I actually, touched it and felt it. But when you're going on a tour, when you're walking around campus, then you want to redefine success. Redefining success is so important because we're so focused on outcome and we're so focused on achievement. But what I've learned, and I'm writing a book about going from college to career, is outcome and achievement are not the same. What we need to focus more on is experiences and experimenting and feeling what something's like, actually putting yourself in places where you can have those experiences, understanding if it's not what you expected, that's okay. Because success is not about getting one outcome, success is about experiencing. And so much of this first year and so much of life and college is about having these experiences and being forgiving of yourself. So these are the five different steps that help you to be set up to have the best first year in college. And best, like what is best? For me, best is showing up every day and appreciating whatever happens is going to be the experience that's served up for you each day. And then you go to sleep at the end of the night, and that is a great day. Even if it's not the day you expected, it's a great day because it's rich with so many experiences. And you'll see there's so much coming at you, there's so many challenges. For those of you who are here live and anyone who's watching the recording, what is it that you're uncomfortable about? What is it that you're concerned about? When you think about college, and I'm hosting this with you in July, about 6 weeks away, what is it that you're really a little bit nervous about or excited about? But the nervous part during our time together, I can really help you through that. And for parents, what are you concerned about? What are the things that make you nervous about your student going to college? And I'll look at the chat and share some of that. And I'd like to weave that into our time together because I care so much more about you and your experiences and being able to address where you are. So please share that in the chat. You can also ask questions. It will be anonymous. I won't reveal who you are. But let me know, what is it that you're concerned about? What makes you uncomfortable? To make this even more exciting, I'm giving away some cool stuff, giving away copies of The Naked Roommate and Win or Learn. We've already picked some winners. So simply because you registered, You had a chance, and I did a random number generator. So I'm so excited to share that with you. And I have those winners at the end of this time together. And then also a best first year membership. So I have this program called Best First Year, and it's coaching every 2 weeks, similar to what we're doing here. Access to these on-demand events. There's so many powerful ones that address each issue of the college admissions process, including the first year. And then there's a private Facebook group, and I show up there and answer questions. So if you ever have something on your mind, I can help you with that. Last night, I hosted the financial transition session. It's part of my summer college success series. And what I'm doing is helping students and parents, this is for you, to understand the 6 big transitions and how to plan ahead, how to know what's coming so you're not surprised. So I host those, and you get access to all the recordings. And then I've got all these other events: 11 things successful students with ADHD and other learning differences do in college, 17 things to do before college. WTF did my college freshman just text me? Those are all included in Best First Year. And I'm going to announce the winner in a little bit. And if you join Best First Year and use code CEG35, get a discount. And if you do it during our time tonight, I will give you a book. I'll just give you a book as a thank you, a Naked Roommate or a Win or Learn book. All right. So let's get into what you want. Now, I asked you to share what are some of the things that you're concerned about, and you're nervous about managing relationships, long distance relationships. I have some amazing tips on managing long distance relationships, and I'll give you the answer real quickly. One is you have to be okay no matter what. When you're going into a long distance relationship, if you stay together, you have to be okay. And if you don't stay together, you have to be okay. You have to know you're going to be okay no matter what. And what's uncomfortable about that, and I know when I say you have to be okay if you don't stay together, no one wants to hear that, but that's a possibility. But when you know you're going to be okay, you have a better chance of staying together. Isn't that wild? Because you know you're going to be okay no matter what. Feeling like my kid need a fake ID before starting college, or kids feeling like they need a fake ID. Okay, so you're not the parent who's like, my kid needs a fake ID. All right. I was like, you're it's very kind of you. Um, Nervous being away from home, making wise choices. 70 to 80% of students feel homesick. It's very normal. Finding the right balance as a parent, being a coach, and knowing all the things to do. I have a wonderful program called, it was called 5 Simple Rules for New College Parents. And it really lays out how can you be a coach as opposed to the one who's in control? How can you be a gotcha back parent versus being a gotcha parent? Those are all things it's really easy to do, especially when you have so much access. Uh, Worried about meeting my people, given the idea about how freshman friends don't last. Freshman friends are temporary friends, but really all friends we meet in the beginning are temporary friends. The key is to put yourself in enough places where you can build those meaningful connections so they can turn into permanent friends. And in the meantime, having a plan on what you're going to do so you're going to be okay no matter what. Because the most important thing is you're going to be okay no matter what. Someone's concerned about the culture of binge drinking, getting caught up in substance abuse. And the interesting thing is, according to the most recent data from the American College Health Association NCHA survey, a third of students haven't had any alcohol. They're not drinking at all. So a third. And then you have some that drink on a regular basis, but there are most that don't care. It's really interesting. And a student who can find those 3 places, and all this will come together. I'm giving you lots of information right now, so you'll see make a lot of sense. But a student who has 3 places on campus, places are where you sweat, play, pray, live, learn, lead, love, and work, places where they can find connection and community, places where they can do things that give them a sense of meaning. When they have 2 or 3 places, and one of those places or 2 of those places don't involve any alcohol or people who use alcohol, you always have somewhere to go and something to do. You always have places, and you're empowered. It's really important to understand that you live in a world of options and you have power. Most students don't see this, and most parents, they don't know what's coming your way. You don't understand what's normal because no one's really told you. So think about this. What do you want? These are some of the most common things. Friends. Students want friends. It's important to want friends. Students don't want to be lonely. 2/3 of students, college students, reported feeling lonely. 2/3. One of the things I recommend students have is a lonely plan. A lonely plan is, what are you going to do on a day where it's kind of dark and gray and you don't have friends or that sense of connection? What's your plan? Every student should have a plan, a lonely day plan that isn't dependent on other people and other things. Staying active. I love hiking. I love being outside. And I love this as a plan. It's something you'll do because you control it. Getting along with your roommate. Roommates are not required to be best friends. They're not even required to be friends. And I have I do a lot on roommates. A lot of people are nervous about roommates. Uh, the best roommates are roommates who just get along, who just find a way to get along. Friendship is a bonus. And I'll give you a real quick nugget on this. Friends are great. It's great if you can be friends with a roommate. But when you require someone to be a friend, they have to say certain things, do certain things, and there are expectations. And if they are not met, you start to resent that person, or that person starts to resent you. This is why I tell students, go into this wanting to just get along, have roommate rules. And I just shared the roommate rules. I did the physical transition coaching session where we talk about the roommate rules. Roommates who want to get along, find a way to get along. Friendship is a bonus, be great, but it's a bonus. And you agree to the uncomfortable rule that says, if either of us does something that makes the other uncomfortable, we promise we'll share what's going on rather than keeping it a secret. Then you could have conversations instead of confrontations. Avoiding debt, huge. I yesterday did the financial transition plan, and I also have a program called 7 College Money Must Do's. And I created a financial future. It's it's in my financial future toolkit. If you go into financialfuturetoolkit.com, you can access my financial future tools. And basically, it's understanding how much you'll make and how much you'll need to pay each month when you graduate from college if you have loans. Wouldn't it be nice to actually know how much you could bring in each month, approximately, and how much you'd have to pay? So many students, they want to get a 4.0, and parents are used to their kids being successful and getting a 4.0. This is a student I met at the University of Miami, and I just love this conversation. He's in the library, and I kind of leaned over and was like, hey, I'm doing this video. Can I ask you a quick question? I was so annoying, but he was so cool. And he was telling me he's a junior, and he was in an engineering class, and he failed one of the other exams, or it was something where he had to come to terms with the fact that his grades do not define his value. And that's something so many students struggle with and so many parents struggle with. That first year is really about acclimating. There are some schools and some classes where they don't even give students grades. That pressure of achievement can really make it difficult for a student who's navigating the social, emotional, physical, financial, academic, and professional changes ahead. What do you want to graduate? Wouldn't that be great to graduate? A lot of students don't. A lot of them don't graduate in 4 years. Most of the statistics you see are 6-year graduation rates. Students don't know this. You want to graduate. And of course, get a job. This is Lorraine Pennyman. I had her on my podcast. She's at Ohio State University. I was doing an event at the Fisher School of Business, and I met her, and she's an incredible mentor. And she's so supportive, and it's finding those people, building those connections, relationships, getting to know your professors that is instrumental when it comes to student success. So the question of what do you want to experience in college is so important. What do you want to experience? For the students who are here, like, what do you want to experience? And for parents, when it comes to expectations, what are your first year expectations? I want to first mention you're the best parents in the world, and you know your kids better than me. And this investment in college is really important for you, and I understand that. The idea of giving your kid more room, the idea of redefining success, reshaping what are my expectations? Because I can tell you, when you're disappointed and you have a kid who's really trying their best, it's really hard. There are so many changes and so many students struggle. See, when I went to college, this is what I wanted. I wanted to go to a big school because that's what we did in my family. University of Wisconsin in Madison. I wanted to be close to my high school girlfriend because it was a miracle that I had one. Truly, that's no joke. It felt like a miracle. And I didn't want to know people because I was just tired of seeing the same people all the time. And got to school and I thought my roommate was going to be my friend. My roommate wasn't my friend. He moved out a couple weeks after we moved in. He loved getting high. I didn't get high. I later found out he was dealing with some personal challenges at home. He reached out to me last August. He moved out 2 weeks after we got together, and he reached out to me last August because his daughter was having some trouble. And there was this weird coincidence where his wife got my books and he didn't know I did what I did. And he was the roommate. Anyway, my roommate moved out. I was really disappointed because I didn't know how to make friends. I tried to join a fraternity. My brothers were in fraternities. I got rejected by all of them. Really upsetting. And this is one of the reasons why I say and suggest make sure when you are planning your transition, your college transition, find places where you're welcome and included simply because you show up. If you need to be in a fraternity or sorority to be okay at that school, my suggestion is to find a different school because you shouldn't have your success be dependent on a group or organization that has to welcome you. It's not a healthy way of approaching it, and you become too consumed with people wanting you rather than you aligning. There's a big shift in how I approach not just college but life. It's instead of getting something, and it's total counter to what we've learned leading up to this point. Instead of someone giving you something, it's aligning. How do you align yourself with people and places to have experiences that can help you to learn what you love and don't love while building meaningful connections and finding your community? My girlfriend dumped me. She was a senior in high school. I was a freshman in college. Her father compared our relationship to a dying puppy. I was struggling. He suggested she shoot the puppy and the misery. So she called me. That's what happened. And it was over, and I was devastated because here I was at this beautiful campus. This is the University of Wisconsin in Madison. This is what they sold me. This is what it was like when I walked to class. All right, so just to go back, this is what they told me it would be. This is what the experience was. And it was really hard and it was really uncomfortable. And I thought the problem was me. I got depressed, I got anxious, I felt like a failure. And I can tell you, I come from a wonderful community. I'm so supported, I'm so blessed, I'm so grateful. I have so much privilege. And I was miserable and had no idea what I was doing wrong. So I decided to transfer eventually to the university or to Indiana University from UW-Madison to Indiana. And the reason I transferred to Indiana is because I had friends there. My brothers had gone there. I'm the youngest of three. My middle brother just graduated. And there's a fraternity that had to accept me because I was a legacy. They had no choice. So I knew I'd have a place to go. And what happened is it took me a good year, even at IU, to find my people and places and to be patient. And over the years, and I wrote a syndicated advice column for over 20 years, and I have all these social media. I do so much on social media, and there's like over 1.7 million followers across all these different channels. And I've talked to thousands of parents and researched so many books. And I can tell you that what I experienced is normal. It is so normal. And it is bewildering to me. Like I can't even understand that 25 years later, the problem's gotten worse. I feel in a sense like I have failed because I've been doing this. I don't really feel like I failed. I feel like schools aren't doing what they need to do. This is why I'm so grateful to be able to visit with you and for Ethan to open up your community because I want to shout from the rooftops because I know what's coming. And for so many parents and students, you don't have to be afraid or nervous or anxious. You can be proactive. And the way you can be proactive is to understand, first of all, you're going to be okay. And second of all, these are the big challenges. These are the big transitions: social, emotional, physical, financial, academic, professional. Oh my gosh, this is so funny. I have to tell you something. So the acronym is SEPFAP, right? So it's social, emotional, physical, financial, academic, and professional. And I was rebuilding my slides and I messed up the acronym. Like, this is how imperfect I am. Like, it's so funny to me because I've done this so many times. Social, emotional, physical, financial, academic, professional, SEPFAP. That's the acronym. It's terrible. This is CFPP. So CPP is even better. Oh, it's so funny. Anyway, these are the big six transitions. And we don't prepare for them because we focus more on search and selection and not transition. Transition, those are the bookends of life. We're born, it's a transition. We exit, it's a transition. Search, selection, transition. These are the six big ones. Now, getting comfortable with the uncomfortable is key because whenever you're going through something new, uh, it's uncomfortable. Like it's a natural part of change. And if you think about what high school prepares students for, it's mostly the academic. It's 90% life inside the classroom. But life in college takes place outside the classroom more than any place. It's like 90% outside the classroom. So you have a system that prepares students for the academic transition, but there's six, and there's no formal training. There's no structure. So this is why I'm so grateful to be able to share this. Each of these students, and I love the story of Will. Will is over here. This is Will, and Will was at Ohio State. I don't want to play the video because it's a minute and a half. I don't want to give to Will right now. Will got to college, left after a semester, went transferred to Cincinnati, University of Cincinnati, and transferred back to Ohio State. And Will realized the problem wasn't the school, it was him. He's now at the University of Chicago in law school. Like this guy is so smart. He's so capable, but he struggled socially and emotionally, didn't understand this was normal. This is Maya. I was at Vanderbilt and I met Maya. She's so great. She started off as like a STEM field, struggled in those classes, realized she doesn't love STEM. It wasn't because it was hard, it's because she didn't love it. And she's now an English major and she's so much happier. And then these are some students at Alma College. I visit there all the time and speak. And these are the RAs. These are the support staff. These are the people who are there to help students. And so important to reach out to those students. There's an epidemic. Students are depressed. Students are anxious, 63% anxious. And then we have a lot of students with ADHD. I was diagnosed a couple years ago. And the ADHD part that really fascinated me, and I was talking to Ethan a little bit. We were just prepping for a call, and he was sharing his diagnosis, the emotional regulation piece. It's really fascinating to me. And I really love my brain. It operates in a different way. And schools don't prepare students with those types of brains to be able to manage these transitions and changes. My best first year program and the coaching I do is fantastic for neurodivergent learners and for parents. We know there's been an increase over the years in students struggling with just these everyday natural issues of change. This is one of my favorite resources. This is the American College Health Association, NCHA data. And you might have to make this a little bigger. Hopefully I'm isolated on your screen. You can zoom in and we can include a link to this data as well. But you can see over the last 12 months, this is what's going on. Well, academics, 45.1% of students had problems with academics. And of that 45.1%, 84.4% had moderate or high distress. So you can see right away, academic big. A third of students dealing with career challenges, 44.5%. Finances, 74.4%. Three-quarters of students procrastinating, and two-thirds of those students feeling distressed. And I would imagine some of those students are probably students with time management issues, students who struggle. One of the biggest hacks when it comes to a student who has time management challenges, uh, especially students with ADHD. And when I'm doing one-on-one work with students and families, the number one answer is find an accountability partner. You go to the accessibility office, student disability office. You want to find someone who you can meet with every week or every 2 weeks, even if you don't need that help. You want to find someone who can help you to manage that time so you're accountable to someone. And for parents, it's not your job. It's really not your job. I don't see it as your job. And I'm a parent. I got a sophomore in college, a student who's going to college this year. My other son just graduated. And it's not my job. So these are the normal things that you'll see students experiencing and going through. And I want you to know it's normal because so much of this, and I met Jerry the other day at Northwestern. I was doing a walk and talk and met Jerry. And Jerry was so great. I'll have a picture of him later in the slides. But he was just like, Harlan, I love your videos because he recognized me from the advice I've offered. And he said, the thing that helped me the most was just knowing that this was normal. He's like, knowing that this is part of it. Because again, we focus so much on search and selection, and we focus almost none of our energy on transition. It's like you could date someone and get married, great. Like the romance, that part's pretty easy. But to actually be in a relationship and to transition from one place to another, because life is just a series of changes and transitions. So I hope this makes sense. I hope this can help you to just start in a place where you're like, huh, you know what? This is very normal. And I really need to think about what's my plan? What is it that you want? So one thing is really hard because there's a chance we might not get what we want. This is probably the most important thing that I've learned, and I talk a lot about this when I do professional development. I'll do a lot of coaching, people all different ages, from middle school to like, you know, I was at Arizona State University the other day doing a keynote for their entire brand team and admissions, and it was really, really exciting. And this law of rejection and wanting really resonated. The law of rejection says not everyone and everything will always respond to you the way you want. I also refer to it as a universal rejection truth in my book, Win or Learn. It says not everyone and everything will respond to you the way you want, like gravity. There's no escaping this law of nature. Like winter in Chicago, fighting it will leave you cold and miserable. So there's this law of rejection, this thing that says you can do everything right, and especially for those of you who are in the admissions cycle and for your whole college essay guy team, you have so many qualified students who don't get the answers they want, who don't get in. The law of rejection says you can be the most qualified, do everything right, and you will not always get what you want. And it's so important to recognize this law because it is a game changer. Because when you are in a new place, feeling new feelings, navigating change, and you don't get what you want, the default is to hate yourself or hate other people or blame other people. But there's a different way of approaching this. So when you don't get the answer you want, and you're not going to always get the outcome you want, if you're doing things right, if you're taking risks, you're not always going to get the outcome you want. When you don't get what you want, when you struggle with discomfort, you allow yourself to experience it. You don't fight the truth. You don't hate, hide, attack, or blame. What you do is you look inward, you look outward, and you move forward. And what you do is ask yourself these questions. When you don't get what you want, is it me? Is it someone or something else? Or is it the law of rejection, the universal rejection truth? And this is a game changer because when I was at Madison and I struggled, everyone I met had to like me. And when you didn't like me, I didn't like you. In fact, I would hate you the more uncomfortable I got. But once I recognized that I had options and other places to go, no one was required to respond any way other than the way they responded. And I didn't even recognize that. It was this law of rejection. I was like, you know what? You don't need to respond anyway because I'm going to go. So I give you permission to respond however you're going to respond. And what happened is I started to make friends and meet people because I wasn't so tied to people liking me and including me. I was more focused on just being and experiencing. The problem is if you don't know what's coming and you aren't prepared, you take it very personally. And this is why it's so important to have these plans, to have a social plan. If that's the big thing that you were struggling with in high school, and for parents, if you have a student who's struggled making great choices, the social transition, the emotional transition, going on, what goes on between your ears. I love my therapist. I'll always have a therapist. So important. I didn't get a therapist till probably I was like, my late 40s. The physical transition, your mind, your body. The physical transition is your health and your environment. The financial, all different aspects of money, the academic and the professional. And I mentioned this, but I think it's really powerful when you start to see again, don't worry, I'm not going to fade away. It looks like I'm suddenly becoming a ghost. I've got ways where I can like fade in and out. It's very exciting. It's much more captivating. So you understand these changes. The mindset of I never lose, I either win or I learn. Nelson Mandela's quote, I never lose, I either win or I learn. If any of you have questions, let me know. I'll answer these at the end of the conversation, but if there's something you want to share, jump on in. This mindset is so powerful because it really gives you an entirely different way of framing success and what's next. All right, so the next thing you need to do is think people, places, and patience. Where will you spend your time? Who will you spend it with? And how long will it take to get what you want? This is Bruin Walk at UCLA. A lot of times when I'm traveling, I just go to campuses and I walk around because I love to just walk around. Someone asked the question, what does first week in college actually look like? To socialize, do you need to go to freshman parties? So I was at Tulane during the first week and it looked hot. It was very hot and sweaty at Tulane that first week. It was so brutal. And the first week in college is really about activities. The goal is to put yourself in places where you're doing things, even if they're ridiculous things. You just show up. And you don't have to go to parties. You show up and you meet people who are there. You can find the people who are running the events. You can meet people ahead of time. It's always nice to be able to have that connection ahead of time. If you're part of a particular group or organization in high school, finding those people in college, planning that first week and seeing what activities are going on, inviting other people to participate in those activities, to go to those activities together. If you don't know someone, asking an RA or someone who can help you to get an idea of like, what is it? How can we go to this? But just showing up, that's what you do. It's very easy to hide. You just show up, you smile, you say hi to people. You give them permission to like you, not like you. Just be friendly, be curious. All right? That's what you do. And you don't have to go to parties. I know a lot of times students will just walk around campus at night. They'll just walk around with people they meet. It's really amazing. You know, there's a lot of people who are very friendly. If you're going to a school where you already know someone, the rule is invite one more. Don't just hang out with that person. Invite one more. And know that everybody's in the same situation. And if some people already know people, it's because they either knew them in high school or they're already part of a group or organization. One thing I'll also recommend is over the summer, there can be events where you have like an overnight trip or some type of orientation program where it's a little more involved. Go to those things, get involved with those things. All right, people, places, patience. Find your 5 people, find your 3 places, give it a couple semesters or a couple quarters. Places are where you sweat, play, pray, live, learn, lead, love, and work. Sweat, play, pray, live, learn, lead, love, and work. When I'm going through the social transition, and I did this as part of the Summer College Success Series in Best First Year, went through the social transition. What clubs and activities interest you? What did you do in high school that you want to do in college? And it's not just getting a general idea, it's going deep. It's exploring the social media. It's looking at the executive board members. It's seeing who's commented on posts. It's reaching out to those students who are living the life you want to live and asking them questions. Some people are like, oh, college starts in August or September. And I'm like, no, it started. It has started. You don't physically need to be there for it to have started. These are some people I met at the University of Miami while walking campus. These 2 students are part of a Lutheran student organization, the one to my left, and then the other one, they met at the Marine Mammal Rescue group, a group where anyone can show up. And then Jacob here, I met him. He was part of the debate club at University of Miami. I was like, man, that must have been really hard to get into. He's like, no, anyone can do it. You just show up. And then behind him was his friend who was in intramurals, club sports. So find at least a couple places where you're welcome and included simply because you exist. Spiritual groups are great. Newman Center. This was Hillel at the University of Michigan. Gaming. If you like to game at a place where you could be around other people. I know here, I think this was NIU, they open this up where anybody can game. You go to the gym, you climb, you do things physically that put you in places where you get to meet other people. You go to places where you could be supported, where you can find academic support. You talk to the juniors and seniors. Oh man, this is one of the best hacks is you get help before you need it. And you get to know those seniors and juniors because the seniors and juniors, they're going to graduate most likely, and they're probably going to get jobs. And when they get jobs, some of them come back and do recruiting. Some of them are in places where they need interns. And when you get to know the juniors and seniors, you have an in. So people don't think about this because people are so worried about, oh, AI replacing jobs. What's going to replace jobs are people who have relationships, who connected with other people, places where you can find professional help, mental health services, finding places. Those three places, you always have somewhere to go, something to do, you always have options. And then finding people who volunteer, finding people who are paid, finding people you can ask. Whenever I go to a campus, there are all these students who love helping. This is another student I met. This was at Tulane. And she became an orientation leader because she had a tough first year and she wanted to help other people. So you have to just talk to people. It's really easy. The problem is that so many people feel ashamed, they get uncomfortable. I love College Tip 960. I met this student, I can't remember her name, at Wellesley, and she was a peer tutor in the Academic Resource Center. And she's like a rock star. And she does this because she wants to help people. This is the social media of the debate team and the Marine Mammal Rescue. So you go to these places now and you see who's active, what what comments are people leaving, and you can DM these people. They're just you a year or two in the future. So find people during the activities fair. I would look at your campus's website and see not just when the activities fair is, I'd go through a list of the different activities. And then I'd find the different clubs and organizations, and I'd look at their pages, and I'd look at the people, and I'd do a search for them. And you can see where they spend their time. You could see their orbit and where you have intersections and the things you like. And you could ask people to introduce you. I was working with someone, I said, talk to the director of the spiritual group, explain you're a student, and ask if they can connect you with someone who can give you more information about what you're interested in. Patience is the ability to tolerate discomfort while finding your people and places. This is where most people struggle. We live in a world where you expect everything to happen right away. And if it doesn't, there's a problem. But the problem is we make friends at different times. We have different experiences at different times than the people around us. You might be someone who's a slow burn. Like for me, getting into fraternity, like I'm not great at meeting people right away. I can't bond right away. I don't like rip my shirt off and like play hoops and like, I'm not like that kind of guy. But if you get to know me over 3 months, you really start to like me or still don't understand me. Who is this guy? But I'm a slow burn guy. It's my personality. Different people, different personalities. So what's your plan? How can you be okay no matter what? That's how you have the best first year. When things go bad, you follow the 24-hour rule. Sit with your problems. Everything looks different 24 hours later. I think people, places, patience. And for parents, my WTF, did your college freshman just text you event walks you through how you can be patient and how you can help your student to stop and sit and to work through challenges and to know, do they want to vent or are they looking for answers? What is your role? And it takes having a framework. And I have so many resources. It could take a good year or longer to find your people and places. It could also take a week, take a couple years. You might not feel as connected. It might be hard to re, reestablish yourself. But when you understand this process, you can tell a story that gives you room to struggle and to be okay, which ultimately it's like the hack is when you give yourself room, it becomes easier to tell a story, a really positive story. Tell the story as if. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to jump to November of this year. And I want you to tell the story. I'm going to get my head out of the way. It's November 2026. I had the most incredible semester. I reached my goals and accomplished what? What are those things you want? The most challenging part was this, because there's going to be challenges. And if there aren't challenges, something is wrong. You're not reaching high enough. I got through it by leaning on these people, and I found people to help me in these places. And it took me this amount of time to get where I want to go. I'm so grateful and proud of myself and my accomplishments. You did it. You did it. Isn't that great? You did it. Ah, so happy for you. When you get nervous, tell the story of your week. Tell the story of your week on Sundays. Tell the story of your day. I'm always telling the story. This morning, I'm like, this is going to be a great day. I talk about all the things I did. In my book, Win or Learn, I have a wonderful template that helps you to go through this. If you remember Best First Year, the first 6 sessions of the year are Win or Learn. And my recorded sessions are awesome. And it basically starts the year by saying, what is it that you want to create change your experience, and how can you take some risks and explore and put yourself out there to have experiences? This is Jerry. I mentioned Jerry from Northwestern. I love this guy. He was so generous. He's like, Mr. Cohen, I just wanted you to know how much you've helped me. And I'm like, Jerry, that you helped me by sharing that. It was so beautiful, and he was so hot, and he came back out, and man, he loves his family. He got homesick. He found a mentor because he was struggling with an international program, whether he should do it or not. Um, this is another thing, and it's like a side note, just reminded me. Um, the financial piece for all of you, I have a rule with Best First Year. It's every member asks for more money if they want more money. Okay. It's like, I am such an advocate for you asking. If cost is an issue, ask. You'd be surprised. Schools actually will give students and parents money sometimes, even now, even after they've committed. But you can ask. Success is redefining your value. Your grades are not your value. The name of the book I mentioned is Win or Learn. And if you want to put any of those other links, I had a bunch of other links, but I'm so busy, and we've got what, 5 more minutes. All right, I'm gonna hustle. I'm almost at the end of this. Redefine success. Your grade is not your value. In fact, everything that's going on with grades and the achievement culture, I think it is counterproductive. And what it's doing is setting students who are used to achievement and outcome being the same for a struggle in a world where AI has upended career paths. It's changed how you approach learning, and career success and curiosity is currency. Curiosity is where it's at. Curiosity and connection. Uh, Grades, that's not the most important thing. You need grades to maintain your scholarships, get access to a grad school, but you could always finish school, work for a couple years, and then go to grad school. Success is trying again and again. This is one of the most popular tips. Alexis failed these classes, and she got an A. And people love hearing about this. Parents don't know what it's like to have a kid who fails a class. Call it an experiment. When you call it an experiment, the outcome is data. Data is success, and data informs you. And then you take that data and you figure out, what is it that you can do to be successful? How do you use that data to grow? How can I have the best first year in college? This is Claude. I asked Claude. And Claude sucks at this. Although Claude used my own advice. I should say Claude sucks. I was going to share the advice with you because Claude knows me. So it comes up with personalized advice. But to have the best first year, you got to live it. You got to go in there giving yourself permission to experience it and to be open to the unexpected. You're not going to find the answers by asking. You're going to find the answers by experiencing. And as you experience, you're going to learn the law of rejection comes into play. Students, so many of them now, they want to take risks only when they know the outcome is going to be a success. It's really a dangerous way to live because, again, success is not about the outcome. Jeff Salingo's book, Dream School, the data from Nessie, Frank Bruno. It's been going on for years. Where you go is not what defines success. I have a coaching session that you can check out about the Gallup Purdue Index, which has the 6 big experiences that contribute to success, positive outcomes. And none of them have anything to do with where a student goes to school. It's about the experiences they have. The message: relax, have fun, enjoy every minute. Your job's simple. Be your personal best, meet lots of people, make new friends, make smart decisions, possibly find a career, possibly find love, and take risk after risk so you can figure out what you love and what you don't love. Expect that not all these risks will go as planned. Many will, but not all. And when they don't go as planned, don't go on the attack. Don't give up. Move forward. Find your people. Find your places. Be patient. Do this, and you'll leave college with more than a degree. You will leave knowing what it takes for you to be happy, and really what more could you possibly want. That's what I want. I want you to be set up for success. It's not an overnight solution, it's a process. This is why I wrote my book, The Naked Roommate. This is why I wrote Win or Learn. This is why I do the coaching, which is for high school juniors, seniors, parents. Primary parents show up, but the on-demand events are great. It's a wonderful way to think about college, not about who wants me and where can I go, where I can get something. It's about aligning. There are a couple winners of books. You showed up. You signed up. Who knew? Just because you showed up, you're going to get something. Laura and Katie, congratulations. We'll send you both copies of The Naked Roommate and Win or Learn. Congratulations. Really excited for you. Congratulations. I'm going to be giving my best first year program away. You get access to the Summer College Success Series, all the replays, everything's recorded. There are all of these on-demand events, the 7 college money must-dos. There's so many ways to save. There's 15 things parents of soon-to-be college students should never do. Program for ADHD, neurodivergent students. Wonderful. And you get access to all this. For parents who are like, oh, I don't know if my kid will do this, um, have them just do an on-demand event. That's it. And if they have a question, every 2 weeks I do these live Q&A. They can come up at the end and ask a question. It's all anonymous. You could ask the question for them. It's really, I'm here when you need me. So don't feel like you need to show up every week. Feel like you've got me in your corner. And there's really no one I know who does it and has this experience and success record. All right, the winner of a 12-month membership, and you could either get a 12-month or you can do 18-month. There's even a month-to-month option. And I want to be very clear. I have a all access guarantee. So if cost is ever an issue, you let me know, and I will make sure that you get access, because the most important thing is that you have the resources you need. Adam, congratulations, Adam Lusk. You are a best first year member, and a membership includes access for 2 emails, one for a student, one for a parent. And if you have multiple kids, I'll give them, like you have twins or triplets, I'll give you more. As many as you possibly need. If you become a member of Best First Year now, tonight, and within the first 24 hours of the replay, I will give you a book, a Naked Roommate book or a Win or Learn book. I would love for you to participate. The retail price, or the main price, is $297, and you'll get the $35 discount, and I'll give you a book as well. Okay, so that's what I have, and I'm so grateful that I could be here to be able to share this. I know we're going to wrap in just a second. I wanted you to know I have a Substack account where I am constantly doing crowdsource lists. I have so many resources there. The Substack is fantastic. I also share my podcast there, and then there's also I have other. I If you need legal docs, one of the things is with Mama Bear legal docs, because you don't get access to your kids' information. If there's an emergency and you need access because of FERPA and HIPAA, you don't get access. Talk to your school and see if you can get this stuff for free. That's number one. And if not, then I have these wonderful relationships where you can get discounts, and they're affiliate relationships, so I get a little bit of a percentage, which is wonderful. But I think these things are really important. I say get everything for free as much as you can. And this is how to have your best first year in college. If you have questions, please let me know. I'm happy to answer those. If any of you have any comments, if this has made you feel a little better, let me know. What's something what's something that you're taking away that maybe you didn't expect that I've been able to help you with? If you can share that as our wrap up, I would love that because I really value you and your time and hope that I could provide something of value. What do you think, Ethan?
Thanks. I just want to say thanks. I appreciate you sharing all you put together. It's so much. It's
It's a
just amazing.
lot. Is it too
I'm not
much,
a big
Ethan?
person. No, I think that it's just sort of like, I mean, it's sort of like, I think people feel this way about CG. I think if I were to say about it's too much, then I think I would be saying it about myself. Because I think basically what I see in you is someone who has put one foot in front of the other for so many years to create so much content. So, I mean, it would be too much if you tried to take it all in at the same time, but
Yeah.
certainly I would just want to encourage folks to titrate, check out. You've got an amazing TikTok channel that I think is just great if folks are on that.
Yeah.
But
The link for the my link tree has everything in there where you have a link to all the social media and so many resources and I'm excited, Ethan, to be able to share your approach to telling your story, which is so exciting. I can't wait to do that with you in a little bit.
yeah, I'm excited to do that too next week. Well, friends, we got to wrap because I have to go do another session in 90 seconds.
Oh, I'm
So,
so sorry. I pushed this too
no,
far. Oh,
it's okay. It's
all
okay.
right.
I want to
Well,
go do it. We're good. So thank you all for being here. Thank you, Harlan, as ever, for all of your wisdom and generosity. And yeah, friends, we'll see you on the next one. Literally, for some of you, in 1 minute.
thanks,
Bye.
Ethan. Thanks,
Talk to
everyone.
you.
Bye bye.